Have you ever heard the saying, a bad idea is actually a good idea that simply lacks confidence? You probably haven't heard that because I just made that up, but I feel like it's going to ring true for this video. See, I've been smoking weed pretty darn regularly for like the last 3 years that I can count, ever since my ex and I broke up. And even dating back to when we started dating was really when I got into weed. But I've been really hammering it out, I would say, for the last 3 years. And 3 days ago, I quit. And then I thought about why I quit. And then I thought about how I wanted to explain why I quit in a video. And I thought about all of the reasons why I quit. And then I kept thinking, like, it would just be so much better if I got high and explained why I don't like to be high anymore on a video. And then I thought, man, that's such a bad idea. But what did I just tell you guys, you know? So I'm gonna go get high, and then I'm gonna come back, and then I'm gonna explain to you guys why I don't want to be high anymore. See, this is a part of the issue. By the way, I'm parked, don't worry. But this is part of the issue with weed, is I feel like I'm doing something productive going and picking it up right now. Like, I have an event, I have an errand to go run. I have to go pick up my drugs, that's like something to do. All right, the deed was done. We got it, we got a pre-roll. No, we didn't get a pre-roll, sorry, we got a disposable. So we'll go home and light up and talk about our problems. All right, I'm back. I changed shirts because it was hot as crap out. It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Maybe I can show you that. But before I do, I've got it. So let's take the first hit. Yeah, okay. It's all starting to come back to me. First thing I can say is I hate coughing. But I know that the more veteran smokers out there will say that that's a, like, skill issue. But I'm already starting to... Okay, yeah. I'm already starting to see, like, the main reasons why I hate this. And it's because deep down a part of me kind of likes it. Like, deep down a part of me is just okay with this being my reality for, I guess, the end of time. Some part of me feels content or, like, fulfilled by what I just did. Some part of me feels like my day has been completed. I've done everything I needed to. And that is, when I think about that, like, when I evaluate that critically, and I don't just, like, take it at face value and accept that as my reality, it kind of snaps. It's a light bulb moment. It's like, wait, I am okay with doing drugs and that being it. That just can't be it. That can't be a permanent solution. There are things such as functioning addicts, and I might not sound like one of them now, only because I probably sound like an actual full-blown addict, telling you exactly what I just told you, that I literally feel complete because I did just this. But the fact of the matter is I actually did a fair amount of things today. I cleaned, I did some deliveries, and now I'm here smoking weed. So I did some chores, and now I want to just call it good, which is why I would consider myself a functioning addict. I don't think this is a good or a productive day yet, but the weed tells me otherwise. The weed tells me that it's time to relax, it's time to just chill out and play some Black Myth Wukong. As a matter of fact, we should load that up. Let's try. Yeah, so I was just saying that the weed makes me feel like that, but really that's not fair or even honest with myself. I make myself feel that way, and I think it's the existence of the drug that I have access to. It gives me an easy out when it comes to being productive or doing anything worthwhile, where I could just say, yeah, I guess I could do that, or I could just smoke some weed. Or I'll do things like justify my dubious actions with small productivity spurs. Like, oh, if I clean, then I can go hit the weed and play some video games, you know, because at least it won't have been a complete waste of time, or at least it wouldn't have been a complete waste of time. Like, at least I still cleaned, at least I did this. I bargain with myself as opposed to just being a better version and wanting more from myself. Oh, I'll just play some Black Myth Wukong because I already made some money today. Oh, I posted a video. Oh, I did this. Oh, I did that. Like any small thing that you do that you can just convince yourself was the thing that you needed to do that day to move the needle enough such that you're going to hit your goal eventually. It's like, I don't know if I will hit any of my goals by settling or selling myself short when I know I could be doing more. And I guess that's the realization I'm coming to. And that's the reason I'm quitting weed, is these times where I just want to smoke, unwind, and play a video game for 9 hours. Well, it's like, maybe that should be 3 or 4 hours. You know, maybe I shouldn't go on a complete binge of playing the game, smoking weed, and getting a bunch of food that I shouldn't be eating at hours of the day that I definitely shouldn't be eating at, and let me go, you know, buy a new game, spend some money that I really shouldn't be spending. Like, there's just a bunch of bad decisions that seem to cascade down from, actually not even from smoking weed, but from the decision to not push for more or like be a better version of myself. And I think weed is a symptom of that, but it's also a cause of other issues. You know, we got respiratory issues. It might be strengthening my depression or my anxiety rather than alleviating it. You know, there's a lot of people that live their life around the hit of a drug, and whereas they think the drug gives them respite, it actually creates chaos all around them for every moment they're not hitting it. So, of course, it could be doing that. I could just be addicted full-blown. Like I said earlier, I could just be an addict, likely am. It also definitely affects my memory in ways that I didn't really think I would be affected by. Like, I definitely have a more shot memory, certainly under the effects of weed, but even off of weed for a few days, I feel very hazy. It kind of takes me like a few weeks to kind of get back into things full on with respect to my cognition. But then there's also like, there's the long-term impacts that I can't really measure right now because they're probably not affecting me as much, but then I'm like always wary of. Like, obviously this isn't good for me, right? I don't think anybody being on a drug long-term is good for them unless it's doctor prescribed. And even in those instances, it's usually like the drug is the better of two evils. It's like you either take the drug or face catastrophic symptoms of a tormenting disease, right? No doctor is just going to give a completely healthy person a drug to just be on for no other reason than, oh yeah, this is the healthy drug. This is the drug you take when you're in a good condition. It's like, generally speaking, altering your body's biophysical makeup with synthetic substances isn't positive. Like, generally our body does that stuff by itself, and human intervention is kind of required when it ceases to be able to do that, or at least that's how scientific, that's how I understand medical science on a very broad and basic level. There's like the other aspects of, I guess, buying anything that come into play that I haven't really touched up on. Like, weed is objectively an expensive hobby. It probably makes me less inclined to hang out with people because I am smoking weed, or like maybe people are less inclined to hang out with me. Like, you know, there's like the social ostracization aspect of it. I guess you could say that's a knife that cuts two edges though, because like you can make friends by smoking. So there's that. I haven't really done that though. So for me, at least, I don't think smoking weed has helped me make friends, is really what I'm trying to get at here. Not to say that that's a huge deal or whatever. It's just, it feels like there's a whole lot of costs associated with smoking weed, and for what little I gain from it, which is this feeling of creativity, or this like font of inspiration to fixate on something and try to become really good at it, where I can get that without it too. I mean, I've definitely felt I felt that way about things before smoking weed. Yeah, I don't really see much of a reason to do weed. I guess there's this other aspect of it that I haven't really touched up on, is I feel like I can perceive a lot more, like experiences feel more cerebral to me when I'm under the effects of marijuana. I don't know how to explain it. I shouldn't just say experiences broadly. I should say like experiences that are focused around the senses. So if I'm eating, I can eat in a way that I don't know, I just like enjoy food more, I guess is the best way to put it, under the effects of marijuana. Visuals, so like, you know, in the background you obviously see me smacking on the first chapter boss to Black Myth Wukong, and yeah, like these kinds of visual spectacles with the sound of the battle happening in the background, these things they kind of feel enhanced under the effects of weed. Like, I'm gonna be lying to you if I told you that I wasn't having a good time right now, right? You see me on screen, I'm obviously into it. Look at my face, I'm making all these goofy facial movements, but I'm zoned in, you know. I get into a zen state, and I think weed might help me escape into that more. And that's such a perfect word, and probably a good way to end off this discussion, is weed truly does feel like an escape. I spent 10 minutes coming to the conclusion that I think most people understand about drugs in general, and insofar as how most people use them, which is to escape. And in that vein, I have to condemn my use of it. Like, what am I escaping from? A reality that I don't prefer? Well, why don't I try to change that? Why am I using weed to escape from a reality I can change? You know, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense when I can control it. And it can be fun to escape it. It can be very fun. It can be enjoyable. It can spur thoughts that I've never had before. I can have novel experiences under the effects of marijuana, right? It can do cool things for me, but I can also do that without it. And I don't see any reason to use it, especially to escape anything. Like I just said that I do undoubtedly use it to do, if what I'm trying to escape is completely within my means to change if I don't appreciate it, and I want to change it, right? I want to change my reality if I'm not enjoying it. If I'm not enjoying my life right now to its fullest extent, I want to address that head on. I don't want to run away. So yeah, I guess that's why I'm stopping weed. Because for as much fun as it is to spend a whole day, or to spend half of a day, really, to spend the latter half of a day getting drugs and then playing a new video game and smashing the shit out of the first third, or really I think the first sixth of it. I guess this game's really long and I've only beaten one chapter so far. I'm stuck on the tiger boss. Either way, I can enjoy those things that I can enjoy those times where I'm just throwing myself at some experience and trying to live to it fully, but I can also accept that I gotta do more. No person is really allowed to just exist in society solely for experiences. Unless, I guess, the experience that person is solely existing for is to help others. At some point, the inevitable question of what are you going to do for money comes into all of our lives. And for most people, doing something for money involves helping other people in some way, shape, or form. You either go get a job, you help a company, you go get employed by an individual person, I guess, or you have a family. You have to have some person in your life that's going to give you money. And playing video games, smoking weed, that's not doing that. That's kind of doing the opposite. I'm kind of I'm leaning on society to pick up my slack when I do this, when I just throw myself at a video game nonstop. I think actually this is the ending of chapter 1 right here, this bear boss, who was quite tough, man. This was a pretty knife edge fight, I've got to say. A lot of waiting too in this fight. I wasn't the biggest fan of this game, of this fight particularly. I like this game a lot, but even this game, though, I will say, it could be a little bit overrated. I feel like this game is getting quite a lot of great praise, praise putting it above and beyond anything else we've seen ever or anything like that. It's a Souls-like. It's a Souls-like that gives you a pretty thick arsenal of tools to interact with enemies with. But it's not even really like an Elden Ring Souls-like. It's more like a Sekiro Souls-like, where there's definitely a boss gauntlet-esque feel going on. There's a crap ton of bosses. I like that. I like that there's a wide variety of challenges that you have to face in the game. It's definitely not a slouch game. I guess it can kind of be easy in the very beginning, but it picks up rather quickly, I'd say. Once you get to the bobblehead dude, you can run past him, but then you go to another kind of hard fight that's going to challenge you if you're not coming prepared. And then it very quickly after that ramps into okay, you got to be using all of your tools or you're going to be getting shreked. You don't have a defensive option outside of a perfect parry, so there's not a whole lot that you have to do besides get good when it comes to dealing with enemy attacks, right? You're either dodging or you're using one of your finite tools, but if you aren't if you thought you could come in here and only push 2 or 3 buttons and have a good time, you're gonna have a hard time. I have found though that the jump attack, the jump R1, or I guess jump light into heavy, is a very nice combo early game. That's just like a general tip for you if you're playing this game as well. Black Myth Wukong feels like a get in the air and hit them twice and back off kind of game, right? Like for a good chunk of the early game. I think that kiting playstyle is powerful, especially since the mid-air light attack is a gap closer. And here I was really excited for this, so check this out.
I'm getting lucky. Oh no. Oh no. Don't do me like this, bro. I'm so... Oh my... Kill him! Come on! Yes! Well played. Well played. Good fight. Good fight. Good fight. Good fight.
Saint mercy, young saint, have mercy. I was just a pawn of the celestial court. If given a choice, who dared to challenge the mighty wrecker of the celestial valleys?
No matter how daring he was, he had not the nerve to harm us.
What? Dude, he destroyed me last fight.
You see, this is the real problem with weed. I stayed up until 4:20 a.m. That's a complete coincidence, by the way, that I turned on the recording right now, but we stayed up until 4. I played like 10 hours of this game, and that's like basically all I did today. Super unproductive. I very clearly screwed up my sleep schedule, and didn't really accomplish much besides playing a video game that just released. But I feel content with that. This is definitely the problem with weed. Or at least like my relationship with it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to blame this all on weed. Certainly there's like a theoretical weed smoker that, or weed doer. Certainly there's a theoretical person out there that enjoys weed but can still get to bed on time and function like a normal adult, right? Like this isn't necessarily universal to all weed doers. But I guess this is just my experience with it. That experience being doing it pretty much nonstop all day, feeling like I don't need to do much else besides the bare minimum, and then end up staying up super late, screwing up my sleep schedule, playing a video game that isn't going to matter to me in like 2 to 3 months. It's just like a kind of a vacuous void of wasted time and wasted potential that I could be using towards more productive means, and I feel like I want to get on that grind. And hey, look at that, it's a new day, and I got a mic stand that I had to duct tape my microphone to, and it's kind of slouching, so I need to find a better solution for how to hold the mic there. But that's crazy, and I got a new webcam on the way too, so that's fantastic. But I think for this video to mean anything, I have to go throw this away, so I'm gonna go do that. You guys have a great day, or night, whatever time it is for you. This is tomorrow, by the way. I'm editing this video. So yeah, anyways, take a good care of yourselves. Have a great day. Have a great night. I love you all, and sleep well.